Hello there, YouTube. New news out today here, early January 2023. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 will be joining Ninjas in Pajamas in the Blast tournament that's coming up later this month in January. 𝐂𝐎𝐿 is a young Ukrainian, former Na'Vi Academy. NIP's kind of taking the gamble, the hope that he's going to be the next 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐿. You were watching a little POV that he played well in against 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿 on Overpass when he was subbing in for 𝐂𝐿𝐿. Imagine having to sub in for 𝐂𝐿𝐿. Pretty big shoes to fill, to say the least. He's 𝐂𝐿𝐿's the GOAT. So yeah, I mean, 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿 I think is definitely an exciting prospect. Oh, they got stabbed there a little bit. He had a solid performance this game. I think like 18 kills, 8 deaths. I want to take a sip of my drink there, and because it was like full, I accidentally spilled it on myself a little bit. I was looking at my screen. Whoops. I'm slightly sticky, but you know what? It's all good. We'll ride with it. So yeah, 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿. I made a Twitter post like 4 or 5 months ago. I was like, there's a lot of cool free agent AWPERs out there. 2 or 3 months ago, maybe. I was like, Hades, 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿, 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿, Poison, 𝐂𝐒𝐒. I mean, now 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿 is a free agent. Like, some people in the comments were like, oh, 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿's he's not a AWPER. He's not a AWPER, FishTheHusky. Oh, but look at that. NIP is hoping he's gonna be the top dog, the AWPER for them. Put a 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐿 level performance is the hope. I doubt he'll fetch the full 600k that 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐿 allegedly did. No, I could see 2/3 of that maybe. 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐿, I mean, part of the reason why people are saying he's not necessarily an AWPER is that he just in the We Play Academy, he was a bit of a hybrid role. Sometimes he was the main AWPER, sometimes he was not. I mean, here he's subbing in for 𝐂𝐿𝐿, so obviously he's going to take that AWP role for Na'Vi. He puts up a commanding performance against this 𝐂𝐿𝐿 squad. This is the 𝐂𝐿𝐿 after they acquired 𝐂𝐿𝐿𝐿. I mean, this 𝐂𝐿𝐿 squad almost looked down phased. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really not good. But yeah, young Ukrainian AWPERs are trending. There's a lot of just really solid Ukrainian AWPERs in the scene. I mean, 𝐂𝐿𝐿 doesn't need to be mentioned just because, you know, he's the most evident. You got Wonderful now, who's starting to pop off for Team Spirit. Like, he's looking just incredible. Like, I think Wonderful could easily get the top 20 next year. I could see 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐿 getting like top 3. And other solid Ukrainian AWPERs, I think 𝐶𝐿𝐿 is actually a really solid AWPER. I think I watch a lot of his 𝐂𝐿𝐿 games on my stream, where he just was getting like insane clutch after insane clutch with the AWP. Like for that full Ukrainian squad, 𝐂𝐿𝐿 was like putting them on his back in a lot of those rounds. Got 𝐻𝐻𝐿 as another Ukrainian AWPER. A lot of people are familiar with him. He's on Monty. He's a really good, solid AWPER. 2023 will be an exciting year. See how all these talents shake out. Right now we're in a little bit of a players break before the events start back up. Kind of why I've taken a little bit of a break from Twitch streaming, putting out a lot of this POV content, but I'll definitely continue to put out this POV content. I think my plan is pretty much try to have at least, you know, like 1 POV a day for pretty much the whole year. And then after that, kind of see if I want to shift up my content or anything like that. Yeah, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 thus far, not too much to say about his gameplay this game. Using a real small crosshair. Interestingly plays with the net graph on. You know, we play academy. The academy players, sometimes they don't have the best drip, the best skins. They don't necessarily always have the best computers. I mean, we're just kids, right? I think Navi Academy has a player who's like 14, who's pretty insane. Spirit Academy has 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐄𝐒, who's 15 years old, and that kid is a really good entry fragger. I want to do a POV review of 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐄𝐒 soon. But yeah, NIP, it's not like fully been announced that headtr1ck signed like a full-term deal with them yet. Like the transfer isn't officially announced, but 𝐂𝐎𝐿, it was a couple weeks ago. He followed like all the NIP like players and staff, and people were like, "Uh-oh, what's going on? He's going to NIP." And now, in the Blast Groups tournament that's starting up in a couple weeks, like mid to late January, NIP announced him as part of the roster. So I don't know if it's potentially a loan. I feel like they'll probably just take the gamble, try to pick him up full time. There, he's kind of whiffing a gimme, but still somehow makes out with his life, which is pretty impressive in itself. Good recovery from him to just fall back and live somehow. Get the kill. Bit the headshot machine backing you up. Feels pretty good, man. But not the cleanest first op round, with a bit of a gimme. But I mean, we can't expect this kid to be as good as 𝐿𝐿 or Wonderful is kind of overnight either. That expectation would be a little too optimistic. I think like NIP at this point, really, I mean, their main goal here is just to get kind of res off the op, put him on the rifle. Remember when they first switched res to the op, they were like, oh yeah, this guy's got potential to be as good as, like, the coach DJL said, as good as shit, man, I don't remember, but they threw out some like legendary name, like simple ZywOo device, something like that. Really, they just need him to be like a solid opper. Like, I would say like NIP, maybe if 𝐂𝐎𝐿 could kind of look to be on like OC's level, kind of like a middle of the pack, pretty solid opper, pop off every now and then, just kind of hit the easy shots, then NIP definitely has a shot to have a really solid year next year. Rez is gonna be more comfortable returning back to his rifle role. If you didn't know, NIP dropped S tag as well during this off season, so that's where the opening for 𝐂𝐎𝐿 is coming in. He's borrowing bits op here. This thing's got a Reason Hollow, a Titan Hollow on a Dragon Lore. Man, that op's probably like, it's like a pretty good condition D Lore too. I wonder if this thing's worth like 75k, man. This thing's worth like a house. I buy Power Hollow as well. And he does deliver. Nice positioning, nice shot. Oh, and he swings out with the P2 to peek with his teammate there. Kind of putting his life on the line a little bit there. Definitely not a maneuver Simple would do. I think Simple would just stick with the op, go for another banger. perhaps 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 will see him as more of a like a team player type of AWPER, more of like a support AWPER with a lot of getting good at all the different utility sets on the different maps. Ambient sounds in Overpass are nice. I'd be pretty disappointed if Valve removed Overpass from the map pool. I mean, even though it hasn't been changed in forever and arguably kind of stale, like, just like a unique map. Oh man, he got toasted on that boost. That's just the joys of being a tier 1 AWPER, I suppose, or playing in this tier 1 scene. He's like, oh shit, they're not doing that in the We Play Academy League. Now 𝐂𝐎𝐿, you know, watching his squad, he's seeing who's gonna mop up complexity here. Perfecto is another interesting player. Perfecto, probably one of my just favorite players, honestly. Like, how good he is at clutching, how consistent he is. I think Perfecto is just a really fun player to watch in the clutch. Like, this dude can make magic happen. Na'Vi, definitely an interesting team coming into the new year. Oh, 𝐂𝐎𝐿 kind of whiffing another gimme here. Not the most impressive round from 𝐂𝐎𝐿 there, to say the least. Couple whiffs. Are we gonna get to witness a vintage Perfecto electronic clutch though? So sick. Imagine subbing in for a team like Na'Vi or spectating. Like, there's a bunch of legends on the server. Electronic, Simple, Perfecto. I like how for this event they had like all the players like faces as the profile pics. A lot of events you'll see players just use like the team logo or something. What else is there to say about headtr1ck? I think I could be wrong. I think I did hear that perhaps he did take some kind of like IGLing type duties for the Na'Vi junior roster. I think statistically he wasn't really quite like smurfing on oh geez, he's been whiffing a lot thus far, even though this is kind of one of his stronger performances in this event that he subbed in for Simple. Thus far it's been kind of ugly to watch, to be honest. He, for the Na'Vi junior roster, he was rifling a lot, opping a lot. Hopefully he's just, you know, grinding face it or scrims, deathmatch with the op. Just constantly to get himself up to speed. He's playing against the best in the world, like top 5 teams. I'm not quite sure how he'll fare in this. Don't feel very good about it from how he's been playing so far this game, but you know, everyone has, you know, off games, if you will. But this was kind of one of his better games statistically. 18 kills, 8 deaths, which is why I kind of decided to watch this demo. Plus, I'm a fan of Overpass. And kind of just wanted to see 𝐂𝐿𝐿 how he plays a little bit on this map. Thus far, just kind of looking pretty standard op play. Recently watched the 𝐂𝐿𝐿 demo on Overpass as well. 𝐂𝐿𝐿 was actually kind of surprisingly aggressive on CT side, and he held a lot of angles that you don't see 𝐂𝐿𝐿 holding. But that's just years of experience, right? If you're recruiting 𝐂𝐿𝐿, you're not recruiting him for years of experience. And that was a nice flick. That was a nice shot. He held the super like tight gap for the the jiggle or the short peak, but he was still able to land the wide peak shot. So that was clean. 𝐂𝐿𝐿 likes to play this angle a lot too. Just boost it up here on long. I mean, I don't think anyone's really gonna dry peek this. So I think a lot of times here you just go for like a timing shot off the flash and then fall back. But every now and then, you know, you can pray for a dry peek. Perfecto with just a clean op 𝐂𝐈𝐓. Handed over. Ooh, 𝐂𝐿𝐿 got a nice crosshair placement to take out Feng there. Oof. Some of his deaths, it's like, oof, that's just rough, man. That's what happens when you start playing with the big dogs. You can't hold the same angle you were just at. I guess talking about free agent AWPERs earlier this VOD. I guess it looks like 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒. I did a recent POV video of him as well. Looks like he is getting benched from EG. I think his contract expired, so should be interesting to see what team 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒 will end up on. I could see him actually kind of bouncing back, having a solid 2023. I think he could be you know, not necessarily like a top 5 AWPER, but just like a solid like support AWPER for a squad. Someone that can get a kill, fall back, have some clean movement, you know, just kind of do his job. All right, 𝐂𝐿𝐿𝐿's bringing the op towards B here. What does he do? So we've seen 𝐂𝐿𝐿𝐿 pre-aim a couple nice angles. We've seen him get a nice flicker too. Definitely seen a handful of whiffs mixed in there as well. You know, the really special AWPERs are the ones that like they pretty much rarely ever whiff, like just a couple times a game. Then they also hit those sick flick shots, just nice, clean, consistent shots that hit them more regularly. They just hold like really interesting angles, take interesting plays that other AWPERs aren't really willing to do or just aren't familiar with. I think 𝐂𝐿𝐿𝐿 is quite the gamble for NIP, considering kind of the free agent op market that's out there. Honestly, if I was building a team, I'd rather, I don't know how well this will age. I feel like I'd rather pick up out of the free agent offers on the market. Either pick up 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶𝐒𝐒, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶𝐒𝐒, 𝐻_𝐿, it's a little bit more exciting as of a prospect. He's a bit more of an unknown commodity. NIP roster has a lot of experience. Maybe they just figure like a younger AWPER they can kind of mold to how they want, is like exactly what they need. Nice shot from him there. Good anticipation. Oh, and he hits the nade too. Good util. Yeah, free agent offers. You got 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶𝐒, 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒, there's 𝐂𝐻𝐻𝑑𝑒s. I mean, I'd maybe take headtr1ck over 𝐂𝐻𝐻Dees just as like a project. 𝐂𝐿𝐍𝐿 seems like he's more interested in streaming at this point. And plus, I don't think he and Brolin got along amazingly. I don't know. I could be wrong. Nice anticipation from headtr1ck there. You know, he knows Grim's in a 1v3 gonna be forced to make a play. Just give that AK over to the headshot machine. Oh, he's working with the op fade. That's his choice. Interesting. There's a lot of haters of the op fade out there. Personally, I think it's all right. To me, it doesn't really justify the price tag. Doesn't really justify the skin. For that price, I'd rather get like a Desert Hydra or something. But you know, to each his own. All right. Hits the shot on the Fang there, making it look easy. That flashbang from 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿, I don't know if that was intended to flash long, but headtr1ck was not blind. A little jump spotting on the A-bomb side on Overpass. Pretty typical stuff. Man, they were just decimating complexity this series. Gets the kill, repositions, play with his squad. Definitely showing some wisdom beyond his years. I'm sure he's got just, you know, an absurd amount of hours like 𝐿𝐿 does on Steam. Probably at least 10K. Even though he's a young gun. Yeah, what do you guys think in the comments? If you were a team, you had to pick up a AWPER, all the free agents on the market now. 𝐁𝐿𝐍𝐿, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿, headtr1ck, Poison, 𝐂𝐻𝐻Dees, 𝐿𝐿, 𝐁𝐿. Are there any you think head and shoulders beyond the rest. I think conventional wisdom, a lot of people rate Mantu pretty highly. He's always been pretty solid. People argue that he was a little bit more not as aggressive as OG needed or something, but I think he said like he was kind of asked to play that way, allegedly. The trick here kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's like, what these ooh, I like how he didn't reposition and then he hit that sexy quick scope. Did he clutch this? Nah, I don't think he can. Where'd Grim even come from? That was weird. I feel like he started to get warmed up a little bit towards the end of the half there. He started to pull off a couple of 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒 started to pull off a couple more impressive plays. Oh, it looks like he's got the P2 but no armor. Interesting. 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒 decided on the T side he no longer needs a crosshair to perform. This kid sniffs them out. That's how he hits bangers. Doesn't need to seed it. Clock him in the head. Crack the skull open. You just got toasted around that corner. But you know, you got some of the world's finest here to clean up. So headtr1ck, you're sitting comfy in the. I guess he's trying to do some like ghost calming, just kind of go through all the players, see if he can relay any good info. You know, when you die in a game, if you're really trying your hardest, you don't really stop playing the game. You just start playing it in a different way. Still relay some good information to your team when you are dead. Not necessarily backseat gaming, but just kind of, you know, when you are playing, you can't necessarily relay every piece of information kind of perfectly or as easily as a spectator of the game could. You guys think headtr1ck though? You think he'll be a boom, a bust, somewhere in between? Man, I feel like if you compare him to like 𝐿𝐿, it's just gonna set him up to fail. 𝐿𝐿, wonderful. They're looking like true prodigies. I mean, 𝐁𝐿𝐿, I mean, it's possible he could get close to that level. I feel like the other young Ukrainian operas have just set such a high bar. It's going to be a hard kind of meet that expectation gap, if you will. Even if you're like performing pretty well by like pro CS op standards, just, you know, it's natural that he's going to be compared to other players from his region around his age group. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿𝐑𝐈𝐄𝐒 just tearing up everyone. This was like right when 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿𝐑𝐈𝐄𝐒 just became IGL of Na'Vi. Like when he just became IGL of Na'Vi, he was like putting up like insane numbers, like just like dropping 30 bombs while IGLing. We're like, oh shit, he might be like the best IGL of all time. But like as the kind of the year went down, the end of 2022, his electronic stats, they just kept falling and falling and falling. I mean, it's natural for like kind of an IGL to kind of focused on a lot more than just, you know, point and click. Natural for your stats to fall off a bit, but for how much electronics stats have fallen off towards the end of the year, makes you question if Na'Vi will consider grabbing a new IGL. Looks like right now they're sticking with NPL as like the rookie as their fifth electronic. I know he definitely expressed some desire to oh, nice shot to IGL, and it's kind of tough to find a like a Ukrainian IGL to potentially fill in that gap, so they might just be kind of stuck with electronic IGL. I mean, they could try to pull in like Fear from Na'Vi, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒 Academy, I believe. Yeah, IGL, but just getting a young IGL seems like a really big risk. Like the teams really try to just go for the young IGL strategy. Usually you see like the young rifler, the young AWPER. Oh, headtr1ck did get a pretty sick clutch to close it out there. So what do you guys think about headtr1ck? You think he'll do well? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Appreciate all the likes, comments, subscribes. I stream games on Twitch, on my Twitch channel all the time. Feel free to follow that if you're enjoying the content. Be just watch partying a lot of pro games. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Thank you so much for the support.